In just 47 seconds, one of music's greatest legends went from sitting across from Joy Behar to storming off the View's stage after the host launched into a vicious attack that left the entire studio in complete shock. What started as a conversation about Chaka Khan's legendary career turned into an explosive meltdown that had security on standby and producers scrambling to cut to commercial. Before we dive into this absolute chaos, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. We bring you daily videos exposing Hollywood's darkest scandals, and trust me, you don't want to miss what happens next in this industry. The tension in the studio last night was thick enough to cut with a knife from the moment Chaka Khan walked onto that stage. The Queen of Funk herself, wearing a stunning orange and gold outfit that practically radiated confidence, took her seat at the table while the audience erupted in applause. Joy Behar sat there with a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes, shuffling her note cards in a way that immediately felt off to everyone watching. "Welcome, welcome," Joy said, her voice carrying that edge she gets when she's already decided how a conversation is going to go. "We're so excited to have you here, Chaka." Chaka smiled warmly at the audience, waving and blowing kisses. "Thank you, honey. It's good to be here." "So, you've been in the music industry for, 50 years now?" Joy started, and already there was something in her tone, something dismissive. Chaka's smile tightened just slightly. "Well, I started when I was very young, so yes, it's been quite a journey." "Quite a journey indeed," Joy repeated, leaning back in her chair. "You've seen a lot of changes in the industry. The music today, it's so different from your era, isn't it?" The other hosts at the table shifted uncomfortably. Sonny Hostin glanced at Whoopi Goldberg, who was sitting very still, watching the exchange with narrowed eyes. "My era?" Chaka said, her voice still pleasant but with a hint of steel underneath. "Music is timeless, Joy. Good music doesn't have an era." Right, of course," Joy said, waving her hand dismissively. "But you have to admit, the younger artists today, they're doing things you never could have imagined back then. The production, the technology, the reach they have with social media." Chaka nodded slowly. "Technology has changed, yes. But talent? Real talent? That's something that doesn't change. You either have it, or you don't." Joy laughed. But it wasn't a friendly laugh. It was the kind of laugh that makes everyone in the room uncomfortable. "Well, some people might say that the auto-tune generation has made it easier for people without your level of talent to become stars." "Some people would be right," Chaka said firmly. "That's exactly what I'm saying. Real singing, real musicianship, that's something different." "But isn't that a bit elitist?" Joy pressed, leaning forward now. "I mean, who are you to say what real talent is? Music is subjective." The audience went quiet. You could feel the shift happening. Whoopi put her hand on the table like she was about to jump in, but Chaka held up her hand slightly. "Elitist?" Chaka repeated, her voice dropping lower. "Honey, I'm not being elitist. I'm being honest. When you can sing without a machine fixing your voice, when you can perform live and sound exactly like your record, when you can write your own music and play your own instruments, that's not elitism. That's craft. That's work." Joy's face was getting red now. "So you're saying all these young artists today aren't working hard? They're not talented?" "I didn't say that," Chaka responded, her patience clearly wearing thin. "I said real talent is real talent. Some have it, some don't. That's just facts." "Facts according to you," Joy shot back. "You know, Chaka, maybe the reason you're so critical of young artists is because you're not relevant anymore. Maybe you're just bitter that their music is what people want to listen to now." The entire studio gasped. Sonny's mouth dropped open. Whoopi's eyes went wide. One of the other hosts literally put her hand over her mouth. Chaka sat perfectly still for a moment, staring at Joy Behar with an intensity that could have melted steel. When she finally spoke, her voice was calm, but it was the kind of calm that comes right before a storm. "Excuse me?" Joy, apparently not reading the room at all, doubled down. "I'm just saying, maybe your criticism comes from a place of jealousy. You had your time, and now it's their time." "Let me tell you something," Chaka said, her voice rising now. "I have 10 Grammy Awards. I've sold millions of records. I've influenced generations of artists who these young people you're defending look up to. My music has been sampled and covered by everyone from Mary J. Blige to Kanye West. So don't you dare sit there and tell me I'm not relevant. That was then. Joy interrupted, talking over her. What are you doing now? When's the last time you had a hit? When's the last time you were on the Billboard charts? Chaka stood up from her chair, and the whole room seemed to hold its breath. Are you serious right now? You're really going to sit there and reduce my entire legacy to Billboard charts? Do you know how ignorant that sounds? I'm just asking questions, Joy said, but her voice was getting louder too. You come on here talking about real talent and real music, but maybe you're just out of touch. Maybe you don't understand what music is today because you're stuck in the past. Stuck in the past? Chaka's voice was incredulous now. The past is what built the foundation for everything these artists are doing now. Show some damn respect. Joy stood up too now, and producers were starting to move around nervously behind the cameras. Respect? You want respect? How about respecting that times change and maybe your way isn't the only way anymore? My way? Chaka laughed, but there was no humor in it. My way is called talent. My way is called putting in the work. My way is called not relying on computers to make you sound good. That's not a way, that's a standard. That's your opinion. Joy fired back. No, that's a fact, Chaka said, her voice getting louder. And the fact that you can't tell the difference is exactly the problem with people like you. You sit here on this show every day acting like you know everything about everything, but you don't know a damn thing about music. You're a comedian, Joy. Stay in your lane. The studio went completely silent. Joy's face turned bright red, and for a moment, it looked like she might actually explode. How dare you? Joy said, her voice shaking with anger. How dare you come on my show and disrespect me like that? Your show? Chaka shot back. This isn't your show. This is The View. There are 5 hosts at this table, not 1. And I'm not disrespecting you. I'm responding to you disrespecting me first. You started this. Whoopi finally jumped in, her voice firm. Okay, let's all just take a breath here. But Joy wasn't listening. She was on a roll now, pointing her finger at Chaka. You know what your problem is? You can't handle that you're not the star anymore. You can't handle that people don't care about your music the way they used to. So you tear down everyone else to make yourself feel better. Chaka's jaw dropped. Are you out of your mind? I came here to talk about my music, my tour, my life, and you've done nothing but attack me since I sat down. What is wrong with you? Nothing's wrong with me, Joy shouted. What's wrong with you? You're so full of yourself, so convinced that you're better than everyone else. I never said I was better than anyone, Chaka said, her voice strong and clear, but I damn sure know my worth, and I'm not going to sit here and let you or anyone else diminish what I've accomplished. I've earned my place in music history, and no bitter talk show host is going to take that away from me. Bitter? Joy's voice went up another octave. You're calling me bitter? Look in the mirror, Chaka. You're the one who can't accept that your time has passed. That was it. That was the moment everything exploded. Chaka grabbed her purse from beside her chair and looked Joy dead in the eyes. My time hasn't passed. My music is eternal. But your time showing any class or professionalism? That passed about 10 minutes ago. I don't need this disrespect. I don't need you, and I sure as hell don't need to be on this show. Then leave, Joy said, her voice dripping with venom. Nobody's keeping you here. Oh, I'm leaving, Chaka said, already starting to take off her microphone. But let me make something very clear before I go. You invited me here. You asked me to come on this show. And instead of having a real conversation, you ambushed me. You tried to tear me down for what? For ratings? For drama? That's pathetic. Joy crossed her arms. I asked you legitimate questions. You attacked me, Chaka corrected her. There's a difference. A real journalist knows the difference. But you're not a real journalist, are you, Joy? You're just someone who likes to hear themselves talk. Get off my stage, Joy said, her voice cold now. Gladly, Chaka said. She turned to the other hosts, her expression softening slightly. Whoopi. Sunny, ladies, I'm sorry you had to witness this. This isn't how I wanted this to go. Whoopi nodded, looking genuinely upset. We understand, Chaka. We're sorry. Joy let out a harsh laugh. Oh, please, don't apologize to her. She's the one who came in here with an attitude. Chaka spun back around, her eyes flashing. An attitude? I came in here with excitement about sharing my music and my stories. You're the one who decided to turn this into an attack. You're the one who made this nasty. Not me. You're delusional, Joy said. And you're unprofessional, Chaka fired back. You know what? I've been in this industry for over 5 decades. I've dealt with record executives, promoters, critics, and every kind of personality you can imagine. But I have never, and I mean never, been treated with such blatant disrespect on a show that's supposed to be about uplifting and celebrating women. This is disgusting. Joy opened her mouth to respond, but Chaka cut her off. No, I'm not done, Chaka said, her voice commanding the room. You want to talk about relevance? Let me tell you about relevance. My songs are still being played on the radio. My music is still being streamed by millions of people. Young artists still cite me as an influence. I'm still selling out concerts all over the world. So before you sit there and question my relevance, maybe you should question your own. When's the last time anyone under 40 knew who Joy Behar was? The audience let out a collective gasp, and a few people actually started clapping before catching themselves. Joy's face was purple now. How dare you? This is my show, and I'll have you removed if you don't leave right now. I told you I'm leaving, Chaka said, shaking her head. You don't have to remove me. I have enough self-respect to know when I'm not wanted. But let me tell you something, Joy, and you better listen good. The way you treated me today, that's going to follow you. People are going to see this. They're going to see how you treated a legend, how you tried to diminish someone's accomplishments because of your own insecurities. And they're going to remember it. I don't have insecurities, Joy snapped. Then why are you so threatened by me? Chaka asked pointedly. Why did you feel the need to attack me the second I sat down? What did I do to you? I came here in peace, Joy. I came here with love and respect, and you threw it back in my face. Whoopi tried again to interject. Ladies, please, can we just... No, Whoopi, Chaka said gently but firmly. I appreciate you trying to mediate, but there's nothing to mediate here. Joy made her choice. She chose to be hostile. She chose to be disrespectful. And I'm choosing to leave with my dignity intact. Your dignity? Joy laughed harshly. You lost that the minute you started attacking young artists for using technology. I didn't attack anyone, Chaka said, her patience finally completely gone. I stated facts about the music industry. You're the one who took it personally. You're the one who made it an attack. And honestly, I think that says a lot more about you than it does about me. Oh, here we go with the psychoanalysis, Joy said mockingly. It's not psychoanalysis, Chaka said. It's observation. You're clearly dealing with something, Joy. Some anger, some resentment, something. Because there's no other explanation for why you would treat a guest this way. Normal people don't act like this. Joy slammed her hand on the table. Don't you dare try to make me out to be the bad guy here. You're the one who came in here with your superiority complex, talking about real talent and real music like you're the authority on everything. I am an authority, Chaka said calmly. I've been making music since before you were on television. I've lived this life. I've earned the right to speak on it. That's not a superiority complex. That's experience. But you wouldn't know anything about that, would you? You just sit here and give opinions on things you know nothing about. I know plenty, Joy insisted. About music? Chaka challenged her. Really? Tell me, Joy, what instrument do you play? How many songs have you written? How many albums have you recorded? How many concerts have you performed? Go ahead. I'll wait. Joy's mouth opened and closed, but no words came out. That's what I thought, Chaka said. You don't know anything about what it takes to be a musician. You don't know about the years of practice, the sacrifices, the dedication. You sit here in your comfortable chair and judge people who do things you could never do. That's not journalism, that's just being mean. I'm not being mean, Joy protested. I'm being honest. No, you're being cruel, Chaka corrected. There's a difference. Honesty is about truth. Cruelty is about hurting someone. And you've been trying to hurt me since I walked out here. Why? What did I do to deserve that? Joy didn't answer. She just stood there with her arms crossed, her face still red with anger. Chaka shook her head sadly. You know what the saddest part of all this is? I actually respected you. I thought you were smart. I thought you were funny. I was excited to come on this show. My team told me it would be fun, that the hosts were supportive of their guests. But this isn't support. This is a hit job. Nobody hit you, Joy said. You're being dramatic. Dramatic? Chaka's voice rose again. You literally just spent the last 15 minutes trying to tear apart my career and my legacy. And you're calling me dramatic for defending myself? Are you hearing yourself right now? Sunny finally spoke up, her voice tentative. Joy, maybe we should stay out of this, Sunny, Joy snapped, not taking her eyes off Chaka. Don't talk to her like that, Chaka said immediately. She's trying to help you, trying to save you from making this worse than it already is. But you're too stubborn to see it. I don't need saving, Joy said through gritted teeth. Yes, you do, Chaka said bluntly. You're making a fool of yourself on national television. Everyone watching this can see how out of line you are. Everyone in this studio can see it. The only person who can't see it is you. Joy took a step toward Chaka, and security actually started moving closer. You need to leave, now. I've been trying to leave, Chaka said, exasperated. But you keep engaging with me. You keep talking. If you want me gone so badly, then stop talking and let me go. Fine, Joy spat. Go. Leave. Nobody wants you here anyway. Chaka paused at that, her expression shifting from anger to something that looked almost like pity. You know, Joy, I feel sorry for you. I really do. You're so full of anger and bitterness that you can't even see when someone comes in with good intentions. You've become the kind of person who tears others down instead of building them up. That's a sad way to live. Don't you dare pity me, Joy said, her voice shaking. It's not pity, Chaka said softly. It's sadness. I'm sad that you've let whatever demons you're fighting turn you into this. I'm sad that you think this is acceptable behavior. And I'm sad that viewers at home just watched you destroy what could have been a beautiful conversation. Joy's eyes were blazing now. Get the hell off my stage. It's not your stage, Chaka said one more time. But I'm leaving it anyway. I'm leaving because I have too much self-respect to stay somewhere I'm not appreciated. I'm leaving because I've worked too hard and come too far to let someone like you diminish me. And I'm leaving because everyone watching this deserves to see what it looks like when someone stands up for themselves. She gathered her things, holding her head high. The audience was completely silent, watching this unfold like they couldn't believe what they were seeing. You're going to regret this, Joy called after her. Chaka stopped walking and turned back one last time. No, Joy, you're the one who's going to regret this. I'm going to walk out of here and continue living my life, making my music, and being loved by millions of fans around the world. You're going to have to live with the fact that you treated a legend with disrespect on your own show. You're going to have to answer for this. Not me. I don't have to answer to anyone, Joy shouted. Yes, you do, Chaka said calmly. You answer to the viewers. You answer to your network. You answer to your conscience, if you have one. And based on what I've seen today, I'm not sure you do. With that, Chaka Khan turned and walked off the stage. Her heels clicked against the floor with purpose and dignity. The audience didn't know whether to applaud or sit in stunned silence, so they did both, a scattering of claps mixed with shocked gasps. Joy stood at the table, breathing hard, her face still flushed with anger. Whoopi put her head in her hands. Sunny looked like she might cry. The other hosts sat frozen, not knowing what to do or say. The cameras kept rolling, capturing every second of the aftermath. Joy tried to compose herself, tried to smile like nothing had happened. But everyone could see her hands shaking as she reached for her water glass. Well, she said, her voice attempting lightness but failing miserably. That was something. Whoopi looked up at her with an expression that could only be described as disappointed. Joy? What the hell was that? She started it, Joy insisted. But her voice lacked conviction now. No, Whoopi said firmly. You started it. From the moment she sat down, you were antagonistic. We all saw it. I was asking questions. Joy defended herself weakly. You were attacking her, Sunny said, finding her voice. That wasn't an interview, Joy. That was an ambush. Joy looked around the table, suddenly realizing that none of her co-hosts were on her side. You guys are really going to take her side? There are no sides, Whoopi said. There's only what happened. And what happened was, you disrespected a music legend on our show. That's not okay. Joy sat down heavily in her chair, the reality of the situation finally starting to sink in. The cameras were still rolling. The audience was still watching. And Chaka Khan had just walked off the stage, leaving Joy Behar to face the consequences of her actions alone. The producers were frantically signaling to cut to commercial, but the damage was done. Everyone had seen it, everyone had heard it, and now, everyone would be talking about it. Joy reached for her note cards, but her hands were shaking so badly she dropped them. They scattered across the table, and she just stared at them, not even trying to pick them up. Backstage, Chaka Khan walked past crew members who looked at her with a mixture of admiration and concern. She held her head high, her dignity intact. Her point made. She didn't need to say anything else. Her exit had said it all. The studio audience was buzzing now. People whispering to each other, pulling out their phones. This was going to be everywhere within minutes. Social media was about to explode, and Joy Behar was going to have to answer for what she'd done. At the table, Joy finally looked up at her co-hosts. "I didn't mean for it to go like that," she said quietly. "But it did," Whoopi said, "and now we all have to deal with it." The stage manager called out, "We're going to commercial in 5, 4, 3. But the countdown didn't matter anymore. The moment had already happened. Chaka Khan had already left. And nothing Joy Behar could say or do now would change the fact that she had just made one of the biggest mistakes of her television career. The Queen of Funk had walked off the stage, leaving behind a host who had forgotten one of the most important rules of television: respect your guests, or face the consequences. And as Chaka Khan's footsteps echoed down the hallway, getting further and further away from the View's stage, everyone knew that this was a moment that would be talked about for years to come.